Imagine stepping into a grand library and finding empty shelves where books should be. Those missing titles might include a dystopian classic like 1984, a sacred text like the Bible, or a controversial novel about teenage love. What made those stories too dangerous to read? For centuries, authorities around the world have banned books for challenging their ideas about religion, politics, or morals. Many books that were once forbidden are now celebrated classics, showing how powerful and enduring ideas can be. In medieval Europe, the Catholic Church forbade people from reading the Bible in their own language, fearing they would interpret it without church guidance. Later, Muslim-majority countries have sometimes banned Christian Bibles or translations of Islamic holy texts they view as heretical. A dramatic modern example is The Satanic Verses by Salman Rushdie, which portrayed Islamic history in a way that led some governments to ban it, and even a death sentence, fatwa, against the author. Authors who criticize or mock religion also often get banned. For instance, Thomas Paine's 1790s book, The Age of Reason, attacked church doctrines and was banned by some governments for being blasphemous. Even today, possession of certain religious books can be illegal in some countries. In communist states like the old Soviet Union or present-day North Korea, the Bible and other scriptures were tightly restricted or banned because the atheist regimes saw them as a threat. Political censorship. Political ideas are another major reason to ban books. Totalitarian regimes especially clamp down on any literature that criticizes them. George Orwell's books 1984 and Animal Farm famously imagined brutal dictatorships. The Soviet government banned Animal Farm because it was clearly a satire of Stalin. 1984 was also banned behind the Iron Curtain for its warning about surveillance and propaganda. Similarly, in Nazi Germany, many authors, especially those who were Jewish or anti-fascist, had their works burned and banned. Conversely, Hitler's own book Mein Kampf, written while he was in prison, was banned in Germany after World War II for spreading Nazi ideology. During colonial times, books by revolutionaries or freedom fighters were suppressed. For example, Marx's Communist Manifesto was banned in Tsarist Russia and also in Nazi Germany, each fearing its message for different reasons. In more recent history, any book on human rights, democracy, or even certain histories can be banned by dictators. A famous case is Boris Pasternak's novel Dr. Zhivago, which criticized the Russian Revolution. It was refused publication in the USSR and only appeared first in Italy. Across politics, the pattern is similar. If a story challenges those in power, it often gets silenced. Cultural and moral censorship. Some books are banned for their content, words or scenes that authorities find immoral or shocking. In this category, we see many famous literary battles. Erotic and sexual content often provokes bans. D.H. Lawrence's Lady Chatterley's Lover was condemned and banned in many countries for its explicit love scenes and frank language. John Cleland's 1748 novel Fanny Hill, also known as Memoirs of a Woman of Pleasure, was so risque it was banned in Britain until after World War II. And even in the 1960s, it led to one of the last obscenity trials in the U.S. Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita, about a man's obsession with a 12-year-old girl, was banned in the 1950s in the UK and the US for obscenity. Works exploring race, identity, or society's taboos have also been targeted. Mark Twain's Adventures of Huckleberry Finn and Harper Lee's To Kill a Mockingbird have often been removed from school lists for using racial slurs, even though they were written to criticize racism. Believe it or not, Lewis Carroll's Alice's Adventures in Wonderland was banned in the 1930s in China because the idea of talking animals was considered insulting to humans. J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter series has been challenged in various places, especially in the United States and Middle East, by those who feared its portrayal of witchcraft. Novels about religion or faith, like Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code, have also been banned in some countries, for example, Lebanon and Egypt, for being anti-Christian. Literature that confronts sexuality or alternative lifestyles often troubles censors. In recent decades, LGBTQ+ books have frequently been banned. Radcliffe Hall's banned novel is an early example. In the late 20th century, Gore Vidal's writings and other gay-themed books were often kept off shelves. Even today, school books about gender or sexuality can be removed in some places. In short, anything that disrupts social norms, from sexual freedom to racial equality, has landed books on the banned list. The irony is that these controversial works are often valued by later generations as brave and insightful. Banned books around the world today. While outright bans have declined in many free countries, censorship is still very much a global issue. In China, for example, the government still forbids books on subjects like democracy, Tibetan independence, or criticism of the Communist Party. Classic Western books can still be banned there if officials find them offensive. In Russia, recent laws have led to the banning of books about LGBTQ+ issues or critical histories of the government. Some Islamic countries maintain bans on any literature they view as insulting to Islam or promoting immoral ideas. For instance, Salman Rushdie's work remains illegal in Iran and several other countries. In parts of Africa and Asia, authors who challenge traditional authority or write in minority languages have faced censorship. Even in democratic societies, contesting books persists. In the United States or Europe, rather than national bans, we see schools and communities challenge books. Parents and activists sometimes lobby to remove certain novels from school libraries for their language or themes. For example, in 2021, some U.S. schools banned Toni Morrison's or Kurt Vonnegut's novels because of profanity and violence. These modern skirmishes might not count as government bans, but they reflect the ongoing debate over what books young people should read. Technology has changed the game too. Governments may block websites or ebooks, but clever readers find workarounds like smuggling printed books, sharing PDFs, or using virtual private networks. Paradoxically, a ban can make a book more famous. Harry Potter sold hundreds of millions of copies despite all the buzz about its censorship. The library of once banned ideas often finds a way to survive. The history of banned books is a mirror of human society's fears and values. From sacred scriptures to racy novels, the very books people try to hide often turn out to be culturally important. Many banned titles, like 1984, The Grapes of Wrath, or Lady Chatterley's Lover, are celebrated today. These stories remind us of the power of words. What seems dangerous to one generation often becomes enlightening to the next. In exploring these banned books, we learn not just about the books themselves, but about the societies that tried to silence them, and ultimately, about the value of reading freely.